Hello everyone. No, the lip sync isn't gone wonky. Unfortunately, I had some problem with my microphones when I did this recording. So whilst you can see me there and I was obviously saying something very witty and very intellectual, it's lost to eternity. Just to let you know that at the beginning of this, where we do have the audio, there is a slight buzz which goes away very soon when I realise that the microphones weren't plugged in properly. Sorry about that, and enjoy the video. Hello, so today we're at RAF Holbeach, which is at Gedney Drove End. We drove out here. When you get to the village, if you follow signs for emergency services range B, then it brings you down a little track, that one there, and there is just enough room for a little bit of parking at the end, just for about 2 or 3 vehicles. We're going to be walking along the edge of the firing range. RAF Holbeach is not an RAF base as such. It's actually a bombing range. So we're going to be walking along the edge of that. Jeff's with me today. I'm sure we'll see some signs later, but there is a possibility of live ordnance in the area that hasn't gone off after bombing. Where we are on the path, it shouldn't be too bad. Things tend to go off farther out in the water. But we'll make our way up and see what we see today. Before I forget, please like and subscribe to this video and ring the bell. I don't post as often as I'd like to because of work. So if you ring that bell, then you'll know when I've uploaded another post. So today we're on the King Charles III England coastal path. We're going to head north along this lovely path. On the way back it's not going to be so nice because we're coming inland a little bit, so we're going to do a bit of a loop today. So now we're just approaching one of the watchtowers. So I looked up some of the history, and there is a difference of opinion which states that it may have been started in 1926 or it may have been started in 1928, at which point it was used for artillery training for biplanes. At that point it wasn't known as RAF Holbeach, and it did change through a couple of names before it got to RAF Holbeach. Before this it was RAF Sutton Bridge. As we come up over this ridge, just turn the camera around and you'll be able to see some more of the targets and stuff. There you go, off in the distance there are targets. So we've just passed the helipad that service the watchtowers. While there are no barracks or full-time staff here at RAF Holbeach, administratively it is twinned with RAF Marham, who look after the operation and the running of this bombing range. So I've seen no end of birds flying in formation. Here comes another lot. Those are geese there. I'm going to have to speak to somebody who knows and find out if we're on a migration at the moment. If you know, write in the comments, let me know if we're migrating geese this time of year. Some swifts now. So now we're approaching what looks to be some kind of units that also service the people that are working on the watch-out towers. Again, I don't know, I'm not sure. This might actually be the RAF Holbeach. Me and Jeff are going to look at getting off this bank in a minute down and do some road walking to get back. But I pretty much guess I'm not going to get out down that road. I don't know if you can hear, but somewhere in the distance there's a jet fighter. I haven't seen it yet. Certainly can hear it. Now, I don't know if there's any bombing today, but certainly, as I suggested before, red flags are up, so may well be. We were hoping to get off of this bank down what looked to be a footpath, just to find out that there's a big sign saying this is not a public footpath, no right of way. I'm going to walk on a little bit farther if we don't find anything, another path. We're just going to turn around and come back along the top of this bank, and we'll do that quite quickly because it's quite cold and windy up here now. Not that I mind it being windy, and as I said before, Jeff's doing really well. Doesn't seem to be phasing in whatsoever. Just a nice walk. Just a little bit of wind, that's all. Coming up to another one of the towers. At the tower there looks like there might be a road, and we'll see if we can get off this bank there. So we've now walked to the last tower. This is the end of the range, and the wind is starting to blow up quite a bit now. You can probably hear it on the microphone. We're going to try and take some shelter around the tower just for a minute, just to have a drink, and then I think we're just going to head ourselves back along the bank, back to the van. We'll have a look at the map, see if there's a footpath that cuts back inland that's not obvious from here. I did see one when I was looking the other night, when I was planning this a little bit, and we did see a footpath that runs parallel to this. It goes all the way back towards the van. It's just finding where we get onto it. Had a quick look at the map, and I think that we're about to hit a footpath just ahead of us, which will take us back inland. It's going to off route. I think it's just that one there. Yeah, it's going to take us a little bit off route, but we'll see if we can find a way through. So as I thought, we do have a bit of a footpath here. It's going to take us all down the edge of this field. So we're going to use that, try and get back inland a little bit onto that adjacent path that we found, that I was looking at earlier. So immediately, as soon as we've got off that bank, the wind is dropped right down. Feels so much better. So we'll carry on down this path, which should take us down to the farm. We get onto the footpath there and start making our way back the way we came. So this was a joining path that I was hoping to find that's going to take us parallel to the sea bank, and hopefully, not hopefully, I've looked on the map, back to the van. So we can get a cup of coffee, get some food for Jeff. I'll bring water with me for Jefferson, and we've had a couple of stops already so that he can have a drink and I can have a drink. We're just coming up on a field that is full of swans. Now on the walk so far we have found a couple of dead swans. Can only think that they've been taken by fox. I guess is the only predator I can think of. I'm just going to turn this round and hopefully you'll be able to see so many swans. They've all come home to nest. That means we're running out of light. So we're going to make a concerted effort to get back to the van now. The footpath that we want to be on, that takes us straight back to the van, is over there, on the other side of the river and the other side of the field. Now, I don't know if we can get across there. I would suggest the answer to that is no. This path takes us round, but in a bit of a loop. It's going to take us round and through those trees up ahead. So we'll see what happens. I can't see a way through over there. I know there's a bit of a path here, and even if I got across to it, I probably wouldn't be able to cross the river. So I think, despite it's going to take a little bit longer, we're going to carry on this path. Up ahead is a Land Rover. Now we've heard some shotguns, so I think that, I'm not sure if there's a shooting party here somewhere, and I'm just hoping that it's not going to tell us that we can't come through here and that we have to go turn around and go back another way. We'll see. You alright, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Very good.
Not upsetting anybody walking along here, are we?
No, whereabouts are you?
Well, we're going back to Range B where I parked the van.
Oh, right,
so we've just come down off the sea bank just to get out the wind a bit, that's all.
Okay, just so you know, there isn't actually a footpath here, but
I'm so sorry, I didn't realise that.
No, there is the footpath ends at the end there. It's a bit misleading, really. So you know, yeah. So
that's where I'm trying to join up with. So
yeah, so you're going to go left at the end here and then pick up the footpath there. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people come and get a lot of people on bikes and that sort of thing that come through and think the footpath. I don't know why they think the footpath does. I think the part of the problem is the fact that footpath, often we don't see footpaths come to an end, but we do there, and it ends in an awkward place, really. And so people sort of automatically think they can sort of come off the bank and then pick it up. But yeah, there isn't actually footpath, but yeah, you're fine.
Sorry for that. Yeah, obviously
you head pick up the footpath.
Thanks so much. Obviously, we've not done any damage or left any rubbish or anything.
I understand that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no.
You have a good rest of your day, sir.
Yes, and you.
Bye-bye. So yeah, it is misleading. On the map, it does mark this as a footpath. The gentleman who obviously is the landowner has told me that it's not, but it was quite nice, and says it happens quite often. And we are going to pick up the footpath again, just around this bend. That's the sea bank, or the range bank, that we're walking adjacent to, and just around here we'll pick up that footpath and back towards the van. obviously walking past that farmer's home and barns, and we get to the junction, whereas it's just we turn left and then go and pick up the footpath by the edge of the copse of trees, which is just along here slightly. We've just stopped, had a bit more of a drink, let Jefferson have a drink, and we've just shared a packet of cheese quavers between us. So we now know that we're actually on the path back to the van. Confirm that with the map. We're going to be walking down this lovely out of the wind because the trees, and on this side we've got hedgerow and trees this side as well. So a nice little path that's out of the wind and easy to navigate. Sun's just beginning to go down in the distance behind the windmills. Yeah, I don't know if you can see yet, but there's a signpost that tells you that there's a footpath that goes all the way back up there, back up to the bank. So if you're going to do this route, maybe worth cutting off the end bit that I've just done, considering that you're going to run up against not being able to get onto or running onto that private land that I walked by mistake. This is a public footpath. Yeah, it's going to shorten your route a little bit, but it's still worth a nice walk out. And we're going on towards those glass houses in the distance. We're 7 miles into this walk, and I've just realised I need to get a lot fitter. That's the reason why I started doing this, and I'm not quite there yet. So we're just approaching Brown's farm now. Those were the glass houses that we said were off in the distance. Looks like some kind of growers, quite a big industrial unit as well on the back end of there. When we get closer, we'll see if it says what they do, but not sure at the moment. We're going to carry on down this path till we get to a sharp right-hand bend in the path, which is our next kind of checkpoint. And then it's just a little farther until we've got to find another footpath, which is just that short little hike back to the van. There we go, Lincolnshire sunset. And a gang of pickers in the field picking crop. Don't know what they're picking. Mainly agricultural land, as I've said before, around here. So not unusual to see gangs of people in the fields picking whatever crop it is. And just here on the path is the sharp right hand in the path that we wanted. And we're just going to follow it around. When we get to the edge of those trees, we have a path on the left hand side that should take us back to the van. Just taken that right hand bend, and that's where our growers come off, and the tractor's absolutely churning up the ground. So we're trying to transfer us along the edge of it, or should I say some of us are. Jefferson doesn't seem to be bothered. He'll go wade up to his ears in mud by the looks of it. There we go. We are back. I'll just have a look. We've done just under 9 miles, 8.78 miles, and it took us 3 hours and 45 minutes. Not the greatest pace in the world, but, and I'd like to say that filming slows you down a bit, and it does, but still, again, we could do that a bit quicker, I think. So I'm going to have my coffee, and then I'll finish this video. So Jefferson's back in his little cage and ready to go back home and have some food. We'll get back and see what Washington's been doing all day. So what have I learned from today at RAF Holbeach? Well, I've learned that despite how much you plan your route, it might be that what you think is a footpath is no longer a footpath. We got away with it, and the landowner was really nice, to be fair. I've looked on the map again, and it does show it as a footpath. So whether he's taking some liberties, just putting some signs up to say this is not a footpath, I don't know. I'm not going to say one way or another. But he was nice enough anyway, so didn't cause us too much of a problem. Secondly, I learned that Jefferson is a star and is a natural at walking. He stays with me. He's never more than a couple of meters away. We passed a couple of dead swans that were on the route. When I told him to come away, not to go near them, he just stayed with me, didn't make any attempt to go anywhere near them. And when other dogs were about, again, he just walked nicely with me. Absolute natural. I am so impressed. First time that he's been out walking, on a long walk that is, not just along the Coronation Channel like we always do. So he's going to be a great addition to my walking. Thirdly, and most importantly, I learned, get your bum out of bed early enough to get out and go walking. Don't hang around, get here at lunchtime and then be walking for 4 hours and start to worry about the fact that you're going to lose the line. Those are the things that I've been taught today, and I will act upon in the future. But it's been a great day. I've really enjoyed it. And for everybody who's out going to be walking, doesn't matter if you're going to the post office or you're doing 10 miles like me, be safe and don't get lost or squashed.